Welcome back. We are your Nagarjuna's friends. This is December 3rd, 2025. Let's gather our minds here, as we usually do. Bring your attention to your breath until you hear from me again. Now bring to mind that being who for you is the manifestation of ultimate love, ultimate compassion, ultimate wisdom. And there they are, gazing at you with their unconditional love for you, smiling at you with their holy great compassion, their wisdom radiating from them. And then we hear them say, bring to mind someone you know who's hurting in some way. Feel how much you would like to be able to help them. Recognize how the worldly ways we try fall short. How wonderful it will be when we can also help them in some deep and ultimate way, a way through which they will go on to stop their distress forever. Deep down, we know this is possible. Sorry. Studying karma and emptiness, we glimpse how it's possible. So we turn our mind back to our precious holy beings. We know that they know what we need to know, what we need to learn yet, what we need to do yet, to become one who can help this other in this deep and ultimate way. And so we ask them, please, please teach me that. And they're so happy that we've asked, of course, they agree. Our gratitude arises. We want to offer them something exquisite. And so we think of the perfect world they are teaching us how to create. We imagine we can hold it in our hands and we offer it to them, following it with our promise to practice what they teach us using our refuge prayer to make our promise. There is the great earth, filled with fragrant incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, 4 lands, wearing the jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamnirya Tayami. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in sharing this in this class and the rest, in this reading and the rest, may we reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in participating in this group and the rest, may we reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in participating in this group and the rest, may all beings totally awaken for the benefit of every single other.
Sorry, teacher. Good morning. I'm late. I had experienced tummy ache.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're happy to see you. I thought you were still traveling, so it's nice to
Uh,
see
sorry, teacher. I'm going away this coming
you.
Saturday. But as and when I can, I will join the class. Yeah.
Charlie. It's too big. No, they're too little. Well, I can get everybody but some. Oh no, I don't see Pauline in there. Can I make this a little littler? How did I do that? Ah, there. So I couldn't find where we left off, but I know I'm in the right in the area. We were talking about, we were reading about the advice to the king about the behavior. We'd started into that, and we'd talked about the livelihoods, right? There were somehow those 4 wrong livelihoods to avoid. And then we went into them in a little bit of depth. And so now he's going on to the karmic consequences of the non-virtue behavior. So let's just pick up here, shall we?
Teacher, if this help, because I haven't finished listening to the recording, but I have another 25 minutes more to go. But I left off the part where the disconnected, something to do with meaningless talk. And Jana was supposed to find out the Sanskrit word, whether is the same, I think is the same meaning or not, something like that. That was
Disconnected, right? Whether they
this
were
this
using
disconnected.
disconnected.
Yeah, but I have 25 minutes more recording to go.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know where that is. If so, I don't know. It wouldn't hurt me to hear these correlations again, if you don't mind. So Elsie was at the top there. Will you start, please?
Thank you, Lama. From killing, you will have a short lifespan. Harming others will bring you a lot of injury. Stealing will leave you destitute with no belongings. And committing adultery will get you rivals.
Joanna, please.
From lying, people will discount what you say. From speaking divisively, you'll be separated from your friends. Speaking roughly will make you hear unpleasant things. Speaking in a disconnected way, people won't respect what you say.
There. Oh, look, there it is. I just didn't go far enough. Janet.
Being unhappy when others get something will destroy your hope. Being happy for the misfortune of others will grant you fear. Backward views will result in bad views. Drinking alcohol causes the mind to be mistaken.
Nice. Mm. Jealousy is a cause of depression. Roxana, please.
No, I just want to say something.
Okay.
Uh, Fear. That's what I felt when the baby was going through her episodes.
Right.
And yesterday in the Mahamudra class, it was the fear, the seeds that were ripening that I knew that I need to clear out. So thank you again for going back on this because it makes me reflect on exactly what to purify.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
That's how that works out, right? We get what we need if we pay attention.
Right, right. Yeah. Because you go to with the meditation, I can go through very, very subtle levels and I can even feel the amount of seeds that I have. I don't know.
Nice.
It's like it's different, but I knew that it was fear what I felt.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, it says falling to share, you'll be destitute. Practicing wrong ways of making a living, you'll be deceived. Pride will get you born with a lower status. Being jealous, you'll have very little charisma.
Oh,
What means destitute? I don't know this word. Can you shortly explain, please?
poor. Really poor.
Poor. Okay. Destitute. Okay.
Just have nowhere to turn to get your needs met. Destitute.
But also it's like you have a position in a work and you're being destitute out of your position. That means that they're lowering your position. Isn't like a synonymous word as well to be destitute?
I don't know it in that way.
No?
Janet, do you recognize destitute being used like that?
Well, in my opinion, you go back to the Tibetan.
You had homework from Lama. She
But she's just
requested.
asking about the English
Yeah,
definition of destitute
I,
in English.
I'd want to see what she was translating that from to see where that came from. I know I had homework, but I wrote it down, and then there was like, major drama in my life, and then there was a snowstorm, and
Yeah.
somehow I lost the piece of paper. I wrote it down, but then Pauline just reminded me. So
Okay. No worries. Can't get your needs met, Joanna. Destitute. Whoever was reading, here's the rest of it.
It was me. Anger will give you an ugly complexion. Not consulting with the wise, you'll be always the fool. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, Pauline, please.
Okay, teacher.
We're
The
here.
scriptures say that because we have killed in our future lives, we corresponding we I think
Yeah, we can't see what's that.
yeah, I can't see the age of the words.
I
In
still can't quite get it. Oh, I gotta make this bigger. Okay, wait. Man,
I wear my glasses.
I know.
The scriptures say that because we have killed in our future lives, we will have oops.
I'm trying to get it. I move the arrow like a hair and it goes from too big to too little. How do I
You
do
can
that?
But
just try to put the plus on the edge on the right side. If you click there, it will go in 10 or 20, yeah, in 10 steps.
Okay.
okay,
How's that? Okay.
yeah, good teacher. The scriptures say that because we have killed in our future lives, we will have the corresponding results of short lifespans. Because we have harmed others with weapons and so forth, our future bodies will have a lot of injury.
Go ahead, do a few more of these.
Okay. Stealing will result in having no belongings, and what you do have will not be dependable and will be shared property. Committing adultery will result in having rivals for your partner and being powerless to stop them. Lying will result in people discounting everything you say. Speaking indivisively will cause you to be separated from your friends and relatives. Speaking roughly will make us hear unpleasant sounds. Speaking in a way which is sporadic and not connected to anything will cause people to not respect your speech, and you will lose confidence that your speech is worthy of being considered accurate.
Hmm.
Being unhappy when others get what they want will result in not getting the things you aspire to and having your hopes destroyed. Being happy for the of misfortunes of others grants you fear. Wow.
Yeah.
Do I continue, teacher?
Yeah, finish this one up and then we'll switch.
Okay. Backward views will result in always having bad views in your future lives and you'll be frequently deceived. But backward view is correct, or wrong will view, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Backward view. Great teachers have explained that these results come in two forms: a corresponding experience and the habit of continuing to act in the same manner. The former would be something like a short span, and the later would be something like wanting to kill more.
Okay. So these are all things we've heard before, right?
Mm,
Anything new and different? Anybody
no.
need to comment, want to comment on?
Yeah, I have one question about the speech one. I have
Uh-huh.
a person, a close person, who's doing a lot of self-talk, and it's irritating me. You know, it's like he's talking loudly, and what's in his mind? Ah, this is so. So he's on his own, and he's talking out loud. So when I come by, it's irritating me because I never know, are you talking to me? Are you not? Kind of thing. And then it's this kind of it's speaking out the thoughts all the time, even if there's no one. I was just thinking about what seeds does it plant? Does it also plant the seeds for not, being listened to? And your speech is not worthy, or the things you say? Would it be the same thing if you talk to yourself?
I don't know. What do you
Scott?
think?
Well, for me, so far, I always thought it's useless talk. Like nothing is getting better by giving those vibrations into the world, not even for the person who is doing it. So I always thought it's useless, but now they say they others won't respect your speech. So even though nobody is listening to you, your mind is witnessing you talking like whatever crosses your mind.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard to be able to say from the side of the person who's doing it, you
Mm,
know. But if I were to say to my own self, what do I think the seeds would be if I had if I had that habit? And it's again, it's like what seeds would it be from? We'd have to say, well, am I finding it pleasant or unpleasant? Right? From the side of the one doing it. And my guess that a person with that habit would have the habit, or at least have started the habit for some reason that was supposed to be helpful, supposed
mm,
to be pleasant.
mm.
And so I don't know, it's really hard to say. Would it come back as being in the presence of people useless talking? Maybe so,
Mm.
because we'd be hearing ourselves do it. I don't know. It is interesting. Probably more important in the situation is to look at your own seeds for why it's irritating. Like I really
Yeah.
relate. Samati used to just talk. I used to accuse him of talking for the sake of talking. And he
Mhm.
would, right? Whatever he was thinking about, he'd say it out loud. And it was always like, why do you think I'm interested in what you're saying? But I dutifully pretended to listen, which I shouldn't have. I should have spoken up and said, I'm really not interested in what you're talking about, instead of pretending to listen when really I had tuned him out
Mm.
because I'm making
Uh,
seeds, yeah, to get tuned out someday. So it's
mm.
interesting. I had a patient once, and as I was talking to her, she would be repeating what I was saying, right? Not really, not out loud. I could hear that she was doing it. And I realized that she needed to do that in order to process what I was saying. And she had learned that that's how she could understand, what was going on. But like I was the first time I'd ever experienced that for someone. And I realized that people process things differently, and might be the same for that guy.
If it is irritating, how can I get behind the irritation? Because I get stuck at that level. I don't see anything behind it. It's just making me angry, so I'm just trying to not
Yeah,
react in a bad way, but this is the level that I'm getting stuck. How to
yeah, yeah.
get deeper?
Be compassion. maybe recognize there's something about that guy's life that find some reason that he needs to do that in order to feel safe or to feel comfortable or to be able to understand his world. It's like see how you can turn the story around into something that opens your heart to compassion. It will still be
Okay.
irritating, right? But
But
your
it will be bearable.
irritation will bring up your compassion instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Teacher, I thought the being happy for others' misfortune gives you fear. How do you correlate? I can't correlate the fear and being happy for others' misfortune is the reason for
Yeah.
that.
Right, right. I would say that when I'm in a situation of misfortune, I'm afraid, right? On some level. I'm angry, right? This is happening to me, right? I'm feeling offended. But then I'm fearful because it's not going the way I wanted. Something's going wrong,
Mm,
some kind of out of control. So the ill will, like wishing something bad on somebody, it's stronger than what they're saying here. It's like if
mm,
you're it's the bad in an unpleasant situation, there's a part of us that is always fearful. So
mm.
being
I
happy with
see.
somebody else's fear would bring us fear.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Sorry, Roxanne.
Which fear can be anxiety, right? The
Right,
anxiety
right,
is something's gonna happen, I don't know what. Something
right.
bad's gonna happen. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Fear
so
has many forms.
yeah, it's
True,
it's
true.
Yeah, for example, yesterday I was doing my 4 powers in just trying to recollect all the ideas of causing somebody else fear. But this one never crossed my mind. So it was
yeah,
wonderful to read it right now.
yeah.
It could have never crossed my mind. I mean, so it's really wonderful. I was thinking on what Joanna just said, and at least I sometimes talk to myself when I really want to concentrate on something. I just say, a ver, concéntrate. I talk to myself, now concentrate. Or I see myself when I'm making a list, if I'm going to go to the grocery store and I open the fridge and I would say, okay, we have tomatoes. Okay, write down this. It's like I need to kind of follow a pattern just to concentrate and to focus exactly on that precise moment. It's like, but I do it not frequently, but I do. I was recalling right now the times that I do talk out loud and there's nobody there. It's like focus, focus, and this is next, and this is what you need to get, or I don't know. I don't find
Yeah.
it disturbing, but I do it sometimes.
Now, this
But
person is really interesting. He's doing it like, do you know this autoscription, or how do you call this one? There's a movie mode for the blind
Monologue. Yeah.
where
mm,
they all describe what's happening, and then there's this one coming in, and there's the wind breeze going through the hair, and it's like commenting everything. It's like really like life is a movie, and he's commenting everything and it's irritating. So it's often, it's not only like these moments that you describe. I do that too, I think, but oh, it's fun.
uh,
Maybe he's enjoying it more. Maybe he can see more details. So I just try to think about Lama Survivors. What can you do? What can
you
he
know,
get out of it? Yeah.
I
But
just
I will,
recalled. Yes,
yeah.
go on.
I found it interesting that he's now correlating the misfortune, being happy about misfortune, to fear. Because usually in the 10 virtues, it's the speech that causes the fear. So I usually correlate speech and things where we talk in a way that other people feel not safe, or we talk about a problem and then they might, get some troubled thoughts, or so this was always the source I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
interesting.
remembering, I think it was Jetson Koppa's list of the results of the 10 non-virtues, and it seems to me that like 4 or 5 of them, that explanation would include, and you live in a place where there's all kinds of things to fear, and right? So it's like a lot of them have a fear factor. But it is interesting that this happy for others' misfortunes grants you fear. And like we've all, where are ways that we are being happy for others' misfortunes?
And he's talking to a king, so maybe, I was thinking or asking myself, why is he choosing specifically these correlations to tell it to the king? So maybe in a bigger scale, if you're a king, you would not be unhappy about, let's say, some servant, or I don't think that this person would see it even, but about other countries, for example, if they have a famine and your own country is doing well and everybody is provided for, maybe something in that range. I don't know. Sorry, Elsie.
Right. My thoughts are, it could be that this could be part of the training that the king would give to maybe his soldiers or his children or his subjects. Where I think, like, for me in my case, it's, sometimes when you tell a child, then you cannot do this, oh, this is hot, you cannot touch, you know. But then the child will automatically put his hand up and touch the hot part that you are talking about. And then when they touch it, and then they, yeah, serves you right. I told you so, right? It's like
Good
that
point.
you're happy that you are right. That now he feels the fear of it. So I suppose this could be it. That maybe the king could have been telling the soldiers, oh, okay, no, you don't do this, you do this, and you do this, and then maybe the soldiers just disobey, and then they maybe, while they're training, they fall into a pit or whatever. It says, serves you right. I told you so. It could be that.
Yeah.
So small seeds like that maybe grows in time and causes us to have fear.
It
That
seems to
that's
me when there's somebody we don't like, and
mm,
then we hear something unpleasant happens to them. Even our practice is saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but like deep down, you're going,
mm,
right,
serves you.
serves you right, or see, I'm right.
Um,
Yeah, they really are an icky person because that, right? It's like this, I think ill will is happening more subtly maybe than I recognize. I have to really be careful to catch it.
Yeah, teacher, I'm about to share actually why I'm particularly interested in this sentence because I have a lot of fear, you see. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unexpected, fear of anxiety and all that. So I come to realize also it is something very subtle, like yeah, like what teacher mentioned, is like more, it's not outright misfortune for the other person, but maybe it's somebody that is competing with me or a person that I don't like. And then then when the person don't get the thing, then it's some kind of like I'm happy that the person didn't get the thing. But if it's outright misfortune for them, of course, I don't wish that to happen to even the person I don't like. Yeah. But
Yeah.
this is very subtle. Yeah. These are the small seeds we plant. I plant, at least I plant. Yeah. Now I'm glad to correlate and realize, yeah, I have to watch for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
In
was,
my
I
case,
was,
oh, sorry. Go
I was
on,
just
Joanna, after you.
okay. I was just thinking that we don't necessarily need the being happy. It would be already enough to be interested in the misfortunes of somebody else, like reading the gossip papers or explicitly watching the news to see what's wrong in the world, not with the compassion eye, but just to kind of entertain. It's hard to say that, but although Geshe Michael always says this small incidents, like there is some commotion on the pedestrian walk, And then you go there to see what happens, and all the cars, when there's an accident, go slow so that they can see what happened. And so maybe even those subtle things plant the seeds for that, because we somehow enjoy on a certain level. I don't know. That was just crossing my mind.
Well, in my case personally, I'm so sorry that Arya had to go through that for the seeds for me to ripen and to recognize fear, because I think of myself of a very confident person, very respectful of fear, but not feeling fear in the sense of deciding or doing or whatever. So for it to show up in those two events, it's a great opportunity for me to clear them out, but I'm so sorry that the baby had to go through that for me to ripen the seeds and recognize it. Otherwise, I think I would just have passed them by to if I wouldn't be really trying to understand what's going on in my world and what is ripening. So it's helpful.
Shall we go on? Anybody have comment on backward views and bad views?
Janet,
I'm
you're too
still
quiet.
She's welcome to be quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pramana people say if you don't analyze your situation, then you don't know. You just don't know. But then if you analyze something that's not important, you're just wasting your time.
All right, let's pick up here. Janet, will you read for us?
Great teachers have explained that these results come in two forms: a corresponding experience and a habit of continuing to act in the same manner. The former would be something like a short lifespan. The latter would be something like wanting to kill more.
Uh, Elsie, please.
The dominant result is the way the outer objects around you ripen. For a more extensive explanation of these, study the literature on the steps of the path of the perfection.
And Joanna?
drinking alcohol will result in having a mind which is mistaken, not being in your right mind, and not being able to give respect.
Is it alcohol only or all kind of intoxicants?
Yeah, I would suggest all kinds of intoxicants, don't you think?
Yes.
Not being able to give with respect. That's interesting.
Mm. Why to
Mhm.
point that out
Yeah. Yeah, why to point that out?
to the king? Mm.
Teacher, the mind to be mistaken is always the case, or while the effect of the alcohol is only during the effect of the alcohol when you consume? Mm.
Yeah, which is curious because
Mm.
we're mistaken without alcohol.
Yeah,
And then we're really
precisely.
mistaken with alcohol, but somehow the mistake doesn't negate the mistake and end up with a right.
So funny. You don't need the alcohol to be mistaken.
Right.
Now you have the alcohol. So it's during the consumption or it's double mistaken. And the respect part is really interesting.
Like when we
Who
give
would the
something
king?
to when we give
Yeah.
something to somebody, are we giving with respect or are we giving out of pride or are we giving out of, we just give. Will you pass
Mm.
the salt? Sure, here. That's giving, right? Versus, yes, here. Right.
But the king who is usually being served all day long, I was just wondering who is it important for him to give with respect? So that it would be like this warning sign, like a high teacher, for example, or to the Sangha, the Buddha, so where you really should be on a respectful behavior. Who is the other part who he should be respectful towards as a king, so
Right.
that he could take care of that? I, I don't know. I can't really.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be
Parents.
this or his advisors. Somebody who maybe could advise him on certain situations because I think the king do consult others before he takes or makes a decision.
Right.
So he has advisors and then or maybe somebody sees that he has done something wrong and advises him on it.
Mm.
But he's I mean he respects it or he just you know just shrug it off.
Should it be respect to himself?
Maybe good manners would
Yeah,
be you would
yeah,
just toss things, no
he could
education,
be
no
the,
good manners. I don't know.
correct. He could be the king, but to actually be really happy with himself, whether he respect himself is another thing
Mm.
possible. Mm.
It does imply that when you're not drunk, you would be trying to give with respect because when you're drunk, it's saying you can't give with respect, with respect. Of all the things that he would point out, what you
Mm.
wouldn't do when you're drunk that you might otherwise do. It's curious.
Yeah, it's carelessness, maybe, right? You're not
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
But then you're not careful in your words and everything else. So the giving
Right.
part, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they mean the different kinds of giving, so that you give bad advice, for example, or you give something, but it's not really protection.
Oh, that's a
I
good point.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Hmm. It's a tough
Okay.
one without a footnote. Hmm.
Where were we? Who's up? Joanna?
I read the latter part with the alcohol. Shall I continue?
Janet.
Failing to share, just like stealing, will result always being destitute. At this point, though, he is explaining the result of not sharing, as he has already explained the result of stealing. So Nick has that bul wa ni, I think it says buwani. And that's very poor, indigent, poverty, want, punitary, destitute.
Okay.
So it's very destitute.
Yeah. Failing to share. That makes sense, doesn't it?
I don't know. I mean, you can share, but people, I mean, people see what they want to see. I
Right.
guess you do the best you can.
Right. It's our seeds that we're planting. The result, the result we see from it is our seeds ripening. So what's the difference between sharing and giving?
I always think of it like giving is like extra thing, and special occasions you give something, but sharing is just on a daily basis what you have, just share if there's a possibility. And I was just thinking that, a king who is rightfully getting presents and money and I don't know, he could just hoard those things and not give back. So he would be rich, he wouldn't be stealing. He could be on his best behavior in this sense, but still he would not share, and this not sharing will bring him future times destitute. Even though he wasn't stealing, because he was just hoarding it or not using it for other people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, for example, yesterday I shared your website link, dear Lama, to Berta. And it's like I shared the link for the website. It's like giving her an opportunity to listen to the teachings, right?
Right.
So
But
there's
that's also
giving.
giving, right? You gave her the
Right,
information she needed to be able to get to that.
right, right.
And it's synonymous, I guess, to say I shared the website with her
Mm-hmm.
because technically giving it to her means you give it to her and then it's
Right,
available.
right, right.
So when it's still available, right? You you give, but it's still available. We call that sharing.
Right.
When you give, not sharing, you give it away.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, right?
It
That's
is.
true.
And if we're thinking I have something and when I give it to somebody, I give it away, then we have this inner sense,
Clinging.
well, then I don't have it anymore. And that's great if it's something we don't want. But if it's something we still want or we think we might need to use in the future, then we go, oh, I'm not so sure I can give it because we're thinking we're giving it away, which we are, the physical object or the whatever it is that's now gone from my possession, it's in their possession. And then we use the term sharing, which would imply I'm either going to get it back or I'm going to still have part of it or I'm going to still have access to it, which means we think we still have some kind of ownership or some kind of say over what happens to it. So we might think, okay, I'm going to share my, I don't know, stupid example. I'm going to share my favorite purse, right, with my friend. And then because I'm saying in my mind, I'm sharing it, I can call her up and say, can I use my purse today? And if she goes, oh, I'm so sorry, I left it at my friend's and she moved away, so I don't have it anymore, I would feel stolen from because I still feel like I have ownership of that thing. if I'm sharing it versus giving it away. And I'm not making a case for either one because in different circumstances, probably, right? There are different times. But it's the attitude that I'm pointing out in my own mind. It's that I would have to admit I give something, I like fully give something away because I've decided I can do without it. And until I've decided I can do without it, or it would be more pleasurable for me to see them have it, I don't give away. And I've got a ton of stuff that I don't use, but's taken up space. That in my mind, it's like I'm just waiting for the right person to give that away to, right? Not willing to throw it away, not willing quite to put it on the street for free, it'll disappear. I want to get it to somebody who will use it. But meanwhile, it's something that's I'm holding an attachment to.
Mm. I have an interesting example because you said even if you give it away and you think you will get something like similar again, it's still
Uh-huh.
kind of clinging.
Yeah,
Did you say that?
yeah.
So I recently came across there's one famous British actor, and he had millions of pounds, English pounds, and he during Corona, so many in his community, small businesses and people really got into trouble, financial trouble. He started to pay off their debts and even sold his houses and to have enough cash fluidity. And he's just really giving it away so
Nice.
that he is not possessing anything of value anymore. But he
Wow.
said, at some point, I came across the idea that I can always earn my money. I mean, I can always earn more money. I can do my job and then it will always come. So I thought this is really cool because he did it on
Yeah,
a big scale, not only like I donate something.
yeah,
He really took care of his community, but then still there's this thought of I will. I thought it's nice to have this inner trust and feeling of confidence and security.
yeah,
But when you said it's a clinging somehow, I don't know. It made me it made me a
yeah.
little think of, okay, I think I have control about it.
Uh-huh.
But if I wouldn't have it, I wouldn't be able to do on a big
Right,
scale things, wouldn't I?
right, right,
That's interesting.
right,
Oh, I need to chew on that one.
right. Yes, Roxana.
What I see in Canada when I go out there is that at least where Roxanne lives, in that nice neighborhood, everybody's sharing and everybody's giving.
Nice.
So it's beautiful because they have this sustainable attitude towards the planet and towards life and towards helping one another. Like, for example, with Elena, most of her clothes have been given out by somebody else.
Nice.
And then Roxana passes Elena's clothes, the ones that they don't fit, to somebody else. And
Yeah.
it's like a beautiful circle, even the toys and the clothes, and a very supportive community. And it's so different from here, from where I am.
Yeah.
I just spend so much money in buying and buying and buying and buying. And you go over to Canada and it's the opposite. It's why pay for it if we can still use it? If it's so it's wonderful because I see the progress of sharing and giving,
Yay.
and for the benefit not only of the economic purpose, but for the planet as well.
Yay. Nice.
Yes.
But then we had something similar, but people start to expect things. And as soon as expectations come in, then it's getting kind of sour. You feel
Yeah.
like you have to give, and then probably not with the kids' clothes, but there may be also things that you feel kind of forced to give away, but you don't really like to give away, and it feels bad not to give it away, so you do it and you regret it.
Yeah.
And that's sour seeds too. So it's, if you're not part of that, doing that, people will get angry.
Yeah.
So I wish we would be all waking up
I
from
know.
this
May
misunderstanding.
it be so, may it be so, may it be so. Listen, I need to go to the toilet. Let's take our break, shall we? I'm gonna let the recording run.
Teacher, since the rest are not back yet, just like to share. I didn't get any signs or whatever about regarding my uncle, my late uncle. So it's all right? I cannot hear you, teacher. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Did I do it the wrong way? Or
No, not at all. Not at all.
oh,
I remember you saying when you first started, you saw him recognize you and smile.
yeah.
Remember that? I think that was your
Uh,
sign. I think that
it
was
was.
the sign that what you did in the next few days was effective.
Oh, okay. I didn't really visualize, see anything, but I
You
feel it.
felt it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I felt it. So
yeah,
it's a good sign.
yeah,
I was wondering whether did I do the right way or did it work?
yeah,
Okay, thanks. Thanks,
yeah.
teacher.
We can't
Mm.
really know whether it worked, right?
Right.
But
It's true.
it did what it could do, what it was meant, right?
Right.
It
True.
did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
mm,
thank
mm.
you for doing it for him.
Thank you. Thanks for helping, teacher. If not, I wouldn't know how, but
Yeah.
now I know how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Teacher, sorry, I will be away. I will be away for the next. I will miss 3 lessons. So,
okay. And
yeah.
then I'll miss 2 or 3
Oh,
lessons. So
up,
just watch the announcements.
okay. Yeah, I will catch up on the recording, and I'll be able. Provider is in the recording. Yeah. Thank you.
Good, okay. All right, we're at number 14. I don't know where we were. Let's start over. Pauline's at the top of my screen now. So number 14, please.
Failing to share, just like stealing, will result in always being destitute. At this point, though, he's explaining the result of not sharing as he has already explained the result of stealing. The result of a dishonest way of making a living is that people will deceive you. Pride will get you born with a lower status.
Yeah.
Deceive here, is it meant like in betray? Like in betrayal?
It would be, it could be. Deceive means people act one way, but they're doing it to get something different, right? Deceive. They're being dishonest with me.
I don't know. For
Like they take
example,
advantage.
yes, dear Lama, explain.
They take advantage. Or I don't know, an example would be the salesman sells you a membership and tells you in your membership, well, you will get this, and this. So you buy the membership and then you go, and it's like, no, you don't actually get this, you get that, right? You've been deceived by what you thought you were buying isn't what you got. That kind of thing on all different levels.
Dishonest way of making a living, when I think of it, it's like when people are trafficking with drugs or politicians that they're not keeping their word or something like that. But I remember when I was working with the Sistema Uno, it was a new project, completely new project, and they were building the platform for that project, and it had errors. It had, it was going through stages, and I remember that the the director was saying, "No, everything's good. Everything's good. You go out there and you tell the principals and the owners of the school that things are good." And I would say, "No, I'm not going to say something that it's not going good." And he would get so upset of me because I wouldn't lie on his behalf.
Right.
So that's a dishonest also of saying things, right?
Yeah.
I'm making things because I can think of it in the broader way, but I think that there are also very subtle ways of making a dishonest way of making a living.
Right, right. And then like when we learn these correlations, it seems like where they're useful is especially is when we are having the experience of being deceived or having just been deceived, right? Our automatic pilot says, that person's dishonest. I'm not going to ever trust them again, right? They did that to me. And they didn't. We know, right? Our karma ripened it. And so we would use these to look, it's like, whoa, I've just experienced being deceived. I have to look at myself. Where have I deceived others, is what we would say, right? That could be ripening as this. And maybe we'd really say, I don't deceive others. I'm honest with others. And right, we go back in life and it's like, no. So we come to the conclusion, okay, some past life, I was deceptive with others. That's what would mean a dishonest way of living, making my living in a way, right, that's deceiving other people. And then, okay, that's why I'm being deceived. But what can I do to try to make it not happen again? I would have to look to see in what way am I being dishonest anywhere, right? In those more subtle ways, in order to stop feeding past dishonest way of life seeds with current deceiving other people behavior. And then I would want to switch that over to the positive. What's the opposite of being deceitful or dishonest? I need to be really, really integritous, right? And then that that isn't as easy as it seems either. It's like I will be really, really honest. And then I see my neighbor wearing an outfit in which she looks terrible. Where is honesty? Oh my gosh, Joanna, you look awful in that outfit. Is that what I'm supposed to do in order to not be deceitful? No.
No, I don't think so either.
So
But
it's
it,
slippery.
but I think that, I mean, I'm talking personally, of course. What happened with Adia, it really shook me, and I don't wish that experience on anybody,
Yeah.
and especially on a baby who's suffering it and who is experiencing it. But I'm thinking to myself, if I want to grow my compassion, right? And you're doing your best to grow your compassion, your love, your wisdom, and you don't know, and you don't know the kind of seeds that you have
Right.
because they don't show up. I mean, fear doesn't show up in my life that frequent
Yeah.
for me to be shaken by and say, hey, do something about it.
Yeah.
When something arises like that, it's like an amazing opportunity
Yeah.
to go back to these correlations and to help ourselves. It's the only way because we can only help ourselves. So maybe the outfit's not saying you look terrible in it, but it's like, hey, what am I trying here to
Right.
develop with this excuse that my neighbor's wearing a weird outfit? You know?
Right. Right. Exactly. At the level of not just what's good for me, but my influence on others
Right,
is part of the equation, right? That
right.
nosa entrello state of mind. Eh, It comes into play. And pride will get us a lower status. Okay, let's go on. Joanna, please.
The result of jealousy, meaning discord deep in your heart about the accomplishments of others, is having very little charisma. The result of anger is being unattractive in some way or other, like having an acne complexion.
What does it mean, very little charisma? That's such an interesting word.
You're not appealing to other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I find myself thinking. Charisma is when you have that charm, that glow that sparks when you're around some in a place or whatever.
I see.
I would I would call it inspiring because I've met inspiring people in my life, and then when I don't have it, it's like, oh, that's not an inspiring manager. So I'm very spoiled. But the people that don't inspire, they seem sort of ordinary, and the people that inspire, they seem to go beyond. I guess
Right.
I have mixed seeds.
Good. I like that.
And I don't know, because, at some point you have to ask, do you want to be inspiring yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the downside
Of not being inspiring?
of being inspiring?
Um, well, as far as my Ney Lama, he feels like people are um how did he put it? Apathetic, like they just don't care. So you can be inspiring, but people cannot realize it and value it. It's possible.
Right. And so
I
would
think
that make it
Geshe Michael said that people don't respect him, but I think he's not true. It's not true. I think people do respect him, but there's still a lot of ignorance around because there just is.
yeah, right. And even if he has the perception that people don't respect him, would that necessarily make him not want, should I use that word? Not want to be inspiring to others?
I mean, I see with that person, he saw a choice and he took the choice to to teach to people that didn't have it. And it's very mixed. The results are very mixed, but he
Right.
made that choice. And I see him as trying to do very high quality outreach.
Yeah.
So in some ways, you know, he knows that some people will fall away. He knows some people just will not have the seeds to say receive a emptiness teaching. But he's
Right.
going to try anyway. And he
Yeah.
sees that if people don't, if you wait too long, then they're too old. If you wait until they're ready, it might be too late. So there's this like fine spot of when you do it. And I think he's a little bit uncertain about that fineness, but he doesn't want to do it too late either. So he's
Yeah.
just not sure. But yeah, he's chosen to be inspiring. He's made a choice to do that in a way that I have not.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
it's okay because if I'm a bump on the log like Master Shantideva, there's nothing wrong with that either. And and then Master Shantideva says to analyze like how important are the things you're angry about? And 99% of the time, they're just not that important. Now, Roxana, I'm not saying that your grandbaby's not important. I'm
Right.
just saying that maybe the outfit someone wearing is maybe not important. But,
Exactly.
you know, most things are just not important. And then I want to take some action on it. And then I'm just really wearing myself down. And then I'm super, super like tired and I sleep 11 hours. And then I realized that I should probably take this emptiness teaching a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, but that's the emptiness part, you know. For me,
Yeah.
it's important to analyze what's going on here in my own particular world, right? And for
Yeah.
me to understand it and do something about it. Because in my mind, I go, I don't want these episodes to continue going on and teaching me something. I want to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
If I can, I will.
Yeah.
And it's not only with Aria. For example, then I see these beautiful seeds ripening with Edward. I mean, a 4-year-old asking for Lama's teachings and listening for the teachings. And yesterday we were putting the Christmas tree on, and he has the top star that goes on top of it. And he just comes over and he goes, Grandma, you shine like this star. You're always shining, Grandma.
Sweet.
It is very sweet. So it's like fear moments and then joyful moments. You know, it's like, what's going on here? It's just ripening seeds.
Right.
So both moments are important because you see the kindness in his words. You say, this is a very special kid, that seeds are ripening for him also just to see his grandma that way, of a shining star. I don't know what goes in his mind, but he compared. And it depends. It depends for whom. It's a useful moment, a useful conversation, a useful pattern to follow, to analyze, to reflect upon. So that's the beauty of the emptiness teachings, what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
My mind went into a completely different direction.
How
So,
so?
so when Jennifer was talking about inspiring and charisma, I was thinking about deceiving because sometimes people come into the room, they haven't said anything, so they haven't inspired me yet, but they ooze kind of charisma somehow. But then they open their mouth and it's completely deceived. You know, it's like, this is not interesting at all. And on the other hand, there's people, like I recently listened to a Buddhist nun, and she is like, when she's coming, it's like they always try to be in the background. They are really kind of giving everybody else the stage. But when she opened her mouth, so she didn't really ooze this charisma like wow, and I'm the stage person. But when she opened her mouth and when she was talking, she was so clear in her mind and so open-hearted, and everything was just like check, 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 you know. And it was so interesting. So these kind of things, it was just interesting that in the business world it's more deceiving. So I actually perceive more people, you know, oozing this kind of interesting aura, but then it's just empty package kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the emptiness teachings, or what we are studying here, it's oftentimes the other way around, and we are also having this vow that we are not supposed to, you know, focus on the package. So this is so interesting because don't let yourself be deceived by that, you know, just really try to listen. It's like, huh,
And
interesting. So when he's bringing it up, of course, a king needs charisma. I
right.
mean, it's always this, I really have to remind myself the context because otherwise I'm just drifting away. And he needs to be charismatic in order to have his people following him and do what he asked them to do. And then, I don't know. And there was this teaching from Geshe Michael with those world conquerors or world rulers. So some of them, they come and they are the ones, everybody is just after them because they want to be ruled by them. And then there's some of them that needs to push them in the position to accept them as a ruler. And the cause of this is jealousy, which is interesting too. It's like,
Right. So that's where I'm thinking it's like if we have a level of understanding about where things come from that seems would be helpful
Yeah.
for people to hear from us, then it would take our seeds ripening to see the person you're trying to explain that to be interested enough to hear you out, right? To have some influence, a positive influence. And that if we've had experiences where we've tried to do that and the person just, right, and not interested or fights with us about it, etc. Are we going to fall back on saying, okay, this is a ripening of my jealousy seeds? Like I wouldn't have put those two together. Okay, where can I look at people who are teaching people new things and be happy about it? Or those who share the teachings to lots of people and be happy about it instead of somehow feel somehow lesser, right? It's like, I want to have a good influence on people, whether I'm helping put up the community Christmas trees or sharing a Dharma class. I do want to have a good influence, partly for my own, personal satisfaction, but more importantly, to help some aha, right, come to them. And the level to which I can see that happening is a reflection of my own levels of jealousy. And it's like, okay, so let's look at what this thing jealousy is, because it must be more abundant than I think. And that was interesting when I caught on to that. It's been a while ago, and started recognizing like thoughts that I would have about judgment and so forth. It's like, oh my gosh, underneath that is jealousy of some kind. And it wasn't coming up as, I don't like them because they're getting that. It was just, why would they paint that house purple, that color? Why would they pay so much for a fancy car, right? It was coming out of me is criticism. Mental, I didn't say it out loud, but my own thoughts were doing that constantly. And then I realized deep down it was some kind of jealousy. And it's like, no, I didn't want the big fancy car, but I couldn't be happy for them having it. Do you see? And so I criticized, mentally criticized. And I see now, right, how that's jealousy. And now I'm seeing a little bit more, right, about how that underlying jealousy is influencing my ability to influence others.
Specifically with charisma goes to personal qualities. So if I'm jealous of personal qualities of others and I take myself too serious and want to be praised all the time, it's not appealing.
Yeah.
But if I rejoice and celebrate other people's good qualities all the time and also point them out to others, then it's also nice to be around a person like that, right?
Right.
And then maybe the charismas grow well.
Yeah, it makes sense. The karmic correlation makes sense when we think it through.
But for whom? I'm stopping. Am I finding myself then more charismatic when I'm, cheering up for other people's? I mean, well, I perceive others thinking of me as more charismatic would be the thing then.
I would guess that you would perceive yourself as having a positive impact on others. So they would be perceiving you as charismatic.
So it's the perception of other people towards me, which is
I think
described
so.
here.
That's what I think.
That makes sense. Thank you.
And then the one about anger and ugliness, again, that's so surprising when I first heard those correlations. And no, Geshe just whizzed right by it when he teaches. He goes, "Oh, yeah, when you're angry, you have an ugly face. Of course, you're going to ripen the results of being ugly." And then, you know, the level to which I remember another teaching that he gave once, and he said, if you're a person who really cares a lot about your appearance, right, and you put a lot of effort into looking beautiful, he said, and you were looking for some kind of way to make a living, go become a hairdresser, right? Or a makeup specialist. Put yourself in a position of making other people beautiful. And it's like, it would seem to me that you would then struggle with jealousy. Even as you're making somebody beautiful, you're making them more beautiful than you perceive yourself as, and you'd be going, "Meh," right? And so you might be bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, but for example, for someone might be ugly, and for it depends on who's looking,
It
right?
does. It does.
Definitely. And it depends on how you perceive yourself as well.
Right.
Because you
Exactly.
might say, oh, I don't have the perfect skin, but I have great lashes. Or
Exactly.
I might not have the perfect hair, but have beautiful eyes. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful always about somebody. It depends on who's looking and whose perception it is.
Exactly.
And your standard of beauty, of course.
Of course.
Teacher have a different thought. If
Okay.
if the beautician is the one making another person beautiful, more beautiful than her, then it's credit to her.
It is.
So so it's a different issue. It's a different thing. So
Right.
so she feels she gets the credit. So she's okay with that.
Yeah. Good. Good. Hopefully that is the case. Hmm. Anger makes us unattractive. The other thing I remember too about Geshe-la's teachings on anger, I think it was from Master Shantideva, is that within a given life, our anger from earlier in life, which adds to anger from previous lives, of course, is why as we get older, things and self gets uglier, right? To our own self, eh? That it's past anger that ripens as wrinkles, sags, a worse looking world. No, it's not that our world gets worse as we get older. It's that our anger seeds from that lifetime are feeding anger seeds from before. And more of them are ripening as myself and my world as less and less pleasant. So there's nothing about aging or like lifespan that has to get harder, more unpleasant as we get older. It's our anger seeds that do that. It's hard to think of that, right? Because we can say, but I'm less and less angry the older I get. Yeah, but what about earlier?
Teacher, what I learned from DCI, they mentioned something like if you have a lot of anger seed, then it will burn all the other good seeds. Is it true? Other good seeds other than anger, all your other good seeds. You say if you have a lot of anger,
Well, they
is it
say,
true?
right, they say one moment of anger
Mm,
destroys your store of virtue, all your good seeds.
right.
And then fortunately, they clarify which moment of anger is it that does that. And it's a strong, ignorant, sustained anger towards another bodhisattva that
Mm,
is the level of negativity of anger that destroys all our, doesn't destroy, it freezes all our good seeds, right?
mm,
Destroys our root of virtue, it's called. And
mm,
it's because of the huge blame factor. If we've if we if we blame really strongly and keep strongly blaming the other person for that wrong bad thing that happened to us, that it's our
mm,
ignorance that's so strong, right? That it makes our ignorance grow so strong. And our goodness, goodness is goodness because ignorance is less. And so we can see that correlation, why it would be that anger damages, right? Our goodnesses
I
because of
see.
the huge blame factor is the big misunderstanding factor.
Mm,
That makes sense?
yes, I see. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
Technically, even if
Thanks.
we are angry at ourselves, right? Because it's
technically,
also blaming myself because I'm self-existent, I'm so stupid and always
right,
been, always will be kind of thing.
right, right.
But if I blame seeds, what about that?
Yeah, there we go. Can we be angry, right? That's the premise. Is like if a bad thing is happening and we're blaming our seeds, it means our past behavior. Can we be angry? Sure seems to me like the anger stays, even when I say, past me made this, guy do this to me, right? It doesn't seem like anger goes away just by recognizing it's my seeds, but it's certainly planting different seeds. Yeah. Okay. Roxana, please.
Thank you. The result of not consulting wise people out of anger about what to take up and what to give up is to always be the fool, perpetually in the dark about what to take up and what to give up.
Well, that's helpful. Helpful explanation there about not consulting wise people.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the king is seeking the right sages
Right,
and not the
right,
empty packages with the good charisma.
right.
But who are we consulting in our daily lives? I mean,
Who are
because
we?
we're always taking decisions.
Mhm.
So that's
And
good.
then this says not consulting out of anger, which is that there are a lot of reasons we would not consult a wise person. They aren't all of them anger. So I don't know if this means that the correlation would of being a fool is only not consulting out of anger. And what does it mean to always be the fool?
That you're going by life just experiencing one obstacle and another obstacle
Yeah,
and not having the opportunity. I mean,
yeah.
to go deep into teachings. I don't know.
Yeah. I think in English we use the word fool as somebody whose behavior seems ineffective. You know, they're just acting in a weird way, like they really don't know what's going on. Oh, that's foolish. To do that is foolish. Or, I mean, in the entertainment, you would have a character who plays the fool, who's the one who's just like, they're like addle-brained or something, I guess. And it's usually meant to be funny because the person gets to behave in ways that's just so un out of the ordinary that maybe all of us wish we could act like that, but we don't because we have to behave in a certain way, foolish. But it always has the connotation of somehow being wrong and ineffective, I think. And it's like a king would never want to look like a fool because that means nobody's going to take him seriously. And so nobody will follow his word.
But the things that we are doing here, getting out of the automatic pilot and doing things that look to complete society so foolish.
Yeah.
It would fuel my feeling to be the fool because everybody is perceiving, the things that I do as wrongly. I mean, like, you will never get anywhere because they don't see the results right away. So
I know.
it's a slippery one.
It is a slippery one. It's like, yes, thank you very much. I don't mind being seen as the fool because I'm acting karmically here.
But if we're seeing also fools in our life,
Yeah. If we're seeing
that's,
fools.
yeah, we're seeing that means that we're also not abiding by what wise people are
Right,
saying, right?
right, right. About what to take up and what to
What
give
to
up.
give up, right?
Right. That's the deep clue here.
Mm-hmm.
But I
That is
mean, it's
true.
Especially out of anger is difficult.
Yeah.
it's mixed
Sorry,
seeds
Jeanette.
because of dependent origination. If everyone was smart, it'd all be relative.
Right.
Well, it's mixed seeds. And I mean, the people I know who are geniuses, they're very isolated. They don't have the company of people. I'm lucky to be a fool because I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people above me supporting me. My Ney Lama doesn't have anyone really, except maybe the Dalai Lama supporting him above him. So
Yeah.
it's very, it's very, I can only say isolating. Or it's like when you're on the top of the mountain, there aren't that many people
Yeah.
around you. But thankfully, I guess I'm not at the top of the mountain. I'm in the middle someplace.
I think it's such a big rejoicable, just to think of the people, wise people around you,
Mhm.
and just rejoice on that because you know that they're gonna be there for whenever you go and ask.
Right.
So think of
I
all the
just
wise people in your world.
Yay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the stories that Geshe Michael tells from living with Ken Rinpoche, like when he was called stupid and just discarded everything every idea he had was just stupid and do it again kind of thing. And if you get angry and you're not going back to the teacher to ask what you should take up and give up, so I mean he knows you need to get over this,
Yeah.
and he will trigger specific things in you so that you can grow. Maybe it's going in that direction if you at
Right.
one
Right.
point
Yeah.
just
That's a good insight.
But the thing is, many people are having wrong worldview, right? Like I have many instances, like when they tell me to say something trivial, like to say something that is not true, like my friends say, you just tell this person, uh, this like this like this. Then I say I can't. I'm sorry. because it's not true. I cannot say something is not true. They look at me like, excuse me, Pauline, this is something very trivial. Why are you so concerned, you know? They look like me like I'm being silly. I'm the foolish one.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
now I think one step deeper. Is this person trying to test me? You know, it may be a angel or something to see how my response is. Now it's like I add this part in,
Good,
you know, to say that this person might be a divine angel coming to test me or to see what am I doing and how do I respond. So after that, I start to have I add in this understanding and I feel better.
good,
Yeah,
good,
but
good.
I have many such instances where people start telling me, I think it's my dishonest seed as well, that people are telling me, feeding me information to say, you say to this person this, and then but they are saying something that is not true. So I'm one person, I cannot just keep quiet and not do it. I will just tell this person, I'm sorry, I cannot do it because it's not true. I cannot bring
Good for
myself
you.
to do it. But they feel that I think the body language is telling me that I look foolish to them, acting silly.
Yeah, yeah. So that goes back to the one before, right? You don't
Yeah,
have the charisma for them to hear, oh my gosh, right? The subtlety of that honesty is so amazing, right? They go, what's the matter with you? It goes back to
yeah,
the one before, right? Results of past
right.
jealousy ripening that they don't
Yeah.
admire that fact about you, right? I
So
mean, these are all so interwoven.
is their jealousy, is it, teacher?
Yeah, wasn't
Or,
it jealousy? The lack of
but
charisma is from jealousy.
is their jealousy to not recognize or my jealousy as well? Is their jealousy, right? To not
You would be
recognize
right.
my,
No, you would be ripening your past jealousy as them
oh,
not admiring the fact that
oh,
you
okay.
won't pass on a fib.
Yeah, right, right. Yes, correct. And I
So
have a
it's
lot of
an
jealousy.
additional thing to celebrate, Pauline, you know.
Yes,
Further!
but I do have a lot of jealousy. I recognize that. Yeah. I have very, very subtle ones that I start to recognize now.
Yeah.
We will look even more foolish to them when we even celebrate that they think we are foolish. Can you go to the nut house, please?
But now it's better because I view them as divine angel
Exactly.
coming to test me, or after the learning Daylam coming to test me, or trying to, maybe make me think further or deeper. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the result of me thinking further or deeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So now,
Good. Planting different seeds.
I mean, from
okay.
from from my side, if people are telling me about convenience culture and wanting me to pay very little and have food, I mean, it comes down to the real issue, which is that we think things are coming from their own side. And
Yeah.
we keep going back to that. So if
Yeah.
people are telling us things that aren't true, that aren't maybe that, well, they kind of are important because in time there'll be consequences. But there are also going to be consequences to us thinking that things come from their own side. And we don't think that there will be consequences, but there will be consequences. And I keep going back to things coming back to their own side. So I'm not doing upper middle way. But that's okay because I think that's, you know, where most of us are at.
Right.
Except that, because Lama Sarani and David have been doing it for a while. They're pretty
It's
clear about that.
still automatic, the blame factor.
But that's the big one. That
Yeah,
that the lie that things are coming from their own side.
exactly. All right. Bad ripening results. Here is the second section, ripening results, like traveling to the lower realms. Yeah, above are the results when we're born as a human. But they will first bring us to the lower realm. All right, so Roxana, please.
You might be wondering if the corresponding results of non-virtue are all that there are. There are not. When someone completes a path of action of non-virtue, then they may have at first been a human, but the ripening result will lead them to a lower birth in either the hells as an animal or as a craving spirit. Shall I go on?
Janet, please.
The Sutra on the 10 levels says that for serious transgressions, it will be the hell realms. For medium, it will be an animal birth. For lesser, it will be as a craving spirit. The reason that the sutra mentions the animal as more serious is because the craving spirit has a clearer mind, and so it will be easier to achieve liberation.
Mm.
This is the sutra that is with Chandrakirti's entering the middle way. The sutra on the 10 levels is the one that he mixes with the wisdom text.
Okay. Somebody was asking about that recently. Do we ever study the 10 levels? Kong Li was asking about that.
If you read Chandrakirti, who's the most famous commentator, I think you would be forced to. But I looked at that. I looked at that commentary and I didn't read the things that he quoted from. I just read what the teacher pieced together. So I could try to take a look at it and see if it's at all comprehensible.
Yeah, it's if you have time
Um,
and I'm interested.
I mean, in our world, it's such a different world now. Everything is just so accessible. So I have time in little bits, like 15-minute breaks.
Yeah.
So then I would just have to have that on my list when I have a little break to read a little bit of it. And
Yeah.
then, we'll see.
It's such a complicated text, Chandrakirti. It's so
Well, this is the Dashya Mu. This is the other the Dashya Hu
the
Humika Sutra, the
the
sutra on
10.
the 10 stages. Yeah. So I mean, he's commenting on that and the Mulamani Karika. So
Right.
he's doing those two for whatever reasons. I don't know why he chose that. Um, but the text that we did was also complicated, but we didn't finish it.
Oh, here.
So I don't know. I guess we'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah,
There's a lot of reading to do. There's the ACI 18 courses to do. And I am focused on trying to finish the 18 courses. So it's all cool.
right. We want that completion for you. Wait. Sutra on the 10 levels. The full section of the sutra reads, those who commit passive action of the 10 non-virtues and make a habit of it, and then do it a lot, making it the main thing they do, will be born in hell again and again. More moderate non-virtue will lead to births as animal again and again. Lesser instances will lead to births in the world of spirits again and again. I remember this from the ACI course about the seed that pops at the moment of death. Okay, it colors your next lifetime.
Mm.
And any of the 10 non-virtues done big, we know this you'll have so many seeds of that non-virtue that the likelihood of it being one of them, and the fact that we believe so strongly in that ugly behavior, right, colors us into a realm where there's just suffering, 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 suffering. That'll be somehow similar to that seed that ripened the way it was planted, which is why there are the different hells, right? And then medium, seemed to me that the medium strength in those teachings was a hungry ghost, and that the lesser way of doing them was animal. Here, this one's says the medium gives us animal and the lesser gives us hungry ghost, which tells us that if that's contradictory with the other teachings, I'm thinking of it all somehow self-existently. But it does not negate the method or the understanding of when a seed ripens, it is me and my experience. And to think me and my experience is always going to be human is naive.
Yeah, teacher, I wanted to ask you the same thing as well. How come the medium seriousness is the animal and the other way around? So it
Right?
doesn't
So,
matter, is it?
yeah, up here he said that the reasoning was that a, a craving spirit
Has a clearer mind,
is no
easier
if
to achieve liberation.
right, like any mind stream wherever it's at is empty of self nature, and so has the capacity to come to realize that. That's what it is to achieve liberation, to make real its own empty self nature. And apparently, for a hell realm being, that's the hardest to do. And then our levels, we would usually say hell realms the worst, craving spirits next worst, animals next worst. Then there's human that's considered good, but not that
Mm.
great. But then from the perspective of the possibility of getting this realization, hell realms almost impossible
Because they are suffering, right?
because the
They
suffering is so terrible. So their
even though
mind
they
is
have even though they have the thinking capacity because of the suffering,
right,
yeah,
right,
animal is out. Animal doesn't have the intelligence and everything.
right. And
Yeah.
apparently a craving spirit does.
Mm.
Craving spirit could theoretically
They are
reach,
still like suffering, like they can't get their needs met, like they are always craving
right,
and
right.
hungry, but
Yeah.
still they are if they are better in comparison with the animal.
According to this sutra.
Hmm.
But the God realms also, it's hard to reach liberation.
Right,
So they got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to
right,
be uncomfortable enough that you will practice super hard
Hmm.
because the God realms, you live 300 years and you're comfortable and you think you have all this time and then you don't, you get in the habit of not practicing very hard.
right. And you
So
use up your goodness.
you burn
Mm.
it all out. Yeah.
Right,
So the human
Mm.
realm, because of our suffering, it's going to push us to try to go for it, to
right,
break the cycle.
Human
right,
has the best balance, right? Of suffering and I mean everything, the balance.
right. The best balance.
Mm.
And then here we are, right? Studying at the level that we're working with it. Oh my gosh, you know, an even better best balance. Yeah. What's all this? Did I miss something? Wait, I'm at the end of my English translation in this file. They've gotten farther than that, haven't they? Well, I guess we're done with class. Okay, that's what we just read. And then we got the footnote. And then I don't have anything but Tibetan after that.
I think these are Geshe Michael's notes. You got to go down to
How far?
just past his notes. It says good results are the opposite. There you
Ah,
go. Good
there we
results are
go.
the opposite.
All right, we have 3 minutes. Let's do it. Good results are the opposite. Here's the third section, the opposite side of those, which are the results of virtuous actions. What's a virtuous action? Janet, would you read for us, please?
For what we call non-virtue, the ripening results are now known. As for everything virtuous, the results are the opposite of those.
And Elsie, please.
Everyone knows from the above explanation that ripening seeds of what we call non-virtue, other than those we should understand that all paths of virtuous actions have ripening results, which are the opposite of those. The corresponding results and the dominant results are also the opposite.
All right, good place to pick back up. Put my mark here. Here.
Teacher, I think there is a page, it's page 90, I think.
Okay.
Maybe you can mark down the page. Is this page 90?
Yeah, I just don't know where to mark it down. I mark it
Oh,
down and I forget.
okay.
Page 90, I'll try to remember. February 3. There we are. All right. So good for us. We're trying. And we're trying on behalf of somebody we know who's in pain that we otherwise can help in ways that only are temporary. And so our motivation is to help them come to stop their suffering forever someday soon. And that's a great, great goodness. So please be happy with yourself, happy with the others here, happy with everyone who's brought all this to us, happy with the us whose karma made that do that. And think of all this goodness like a beautiful glowing gemstone that we can hold in our hands. Recall your own precious holy being. See how happy they are with you. Ask them to please, please stay close, to continue to guide you, help you, inspire you. And then offer them this gemstone of goodness. See them accept it and bless it. And they carry it with them right back into our hearts. See them there, feel them there. Their love, their compassion, their wisdom. It feels so good. We want to keep it forever. And so we know to share it. By the power of the goodness that we've just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. So use those 3 long exhales to share this goodness with that one person. To share it with everyone we love. To share it with every existing being everywhere. See them all filled with loving kindness, filled with wisdom, and may it be so. All right. So shall we meet next week? Why not, hey?
I might not be able to attend next week. Next week,